Hey everyone, I'm Red, and in this video, I'll be ranking all 4 seasons of Stranger Things. I'm a huge fan of all the seasons and consider this show among Netflix's best work. I binged Volume 4 Part 2 last night and I'm super excited to get into this. Keep an eye out for my ranking of all 40 characters coming out very soon. A warning before I start, there will be massive spoilers in this video. I would probably consider any season of this show better than most shows' best season, so no real hate on any of these, but let's not waste any more time and jump right into this. In last place is Season 2. This season is really good and it's no knock on it being in last place. I just had a few more issues with Season 2 than the others. Some positives to start though. This season introduces a great character design in the Demi-Dogs. They were a nice switch up from the first season and posed a fun threat to the kids. This season features the best of Steve and Dustin. Their relationship dynamic is off the charts, with scenes of them bonding that are amazing. This season has some amazing tension and you really feel like the characters are in danger. Erica and Murray bring some great life to the show and are so good they get brought back in bigger roles later on. This season also features maybe the saddest death in the whole show till season 4 with Bob. I was so sad to see the stepdad superhero go down. I personally loved his dad jokes. Billy was also introduced this season, and he was played amazingly and brought an interesting rivalry with Steve and a human villain to the plot. I loved that Will got a lot more to do this season. I think he's a really underrated actor. The ending with the snowball was so cute. It was nice to see everyone together happy. Watching Dustin's little pet growing into a monster was irritatingly enjoyable for sure. The music is top notch as always. Seeing Hopper and Eleven together was fun and brought an interesting spark between the two of them, and I wish we got to see more of them together, which brings me into my biggest negative of this season. Eleven is separated from the main cast almost the whole season, and episode 7 completely ruined the momentum that the show had going. Easily the worst episode in the show's history. Although I really like Max in future seasons, in season 2 she was kind of annoying and only added jealousy and frustration to the plot. Another plotline issue for me is Nancy's plot with her PTSD over Barb's death. Though it made sense, it was not a lot of fun to watch and I wanted to keep moving on and focus on other characters and storylines. All in all, this season is really great. I just wish the cast wasn't so split up, and episode 7 is so unforgivable. I don't know if I'll really ever get over it. In third is season 1. The original season of Stranger Things caught me and the world by storm. The story and cliffhangers are amazing, and it's so bingeable the first time you watch it. It has wonderful world building setting up the seasons to come. This season has great urgency with everyone looking for Will. This is by far the most contained season and I really like that. All the characters in one town building relationships and not all split up on separate quests. This show is at its best when the characters you love are interacting. And the kids are pure gold this season and they blend perfectly with the adults. Jim Hopper's character is really good and I love the personal character arc he has this season coming back from losing so much. His backstory is great. Steve's arc going from hating him to loving him is amazing. Great character building. The scene with him fighting the Demogorgon is amazingly hilarious. Eleven's fish out of water storyline was a joy with her protecting her friends and them protecting her. The love triangle with Nancy and Jonathan was super well done, and other seasons I started to tune out a little and not really care. And it can be a little cliche and annoying, but that fits the 80s theme, so no hate. This season has a great mystery, but upon rewatch, the story isn't quite as engaging the second time. Even though this story has a strong horror element, I feel like the monsters are the weakest this season. There's no real variety. I know a lot of people were really impacted by Barb's death, but I thought she was kinda annoying. She didn't deserve it, but I wasn't crying and wasn't that upset over her death. The homages to the 80s were great and I love them. I could see someone saying they are copying and, just repeating what's been done before, but I think they did a good job of being original enough. So in third place, this season goes. In second is season 3. This season of the show featured some of the highest highs in the whole series, in my opinion. It starts off slow but builds to a spectacular final half of the season. The Mind Flayer was a really interesting and physically imposing threat. It having a zombie army was really cool and led to some tense scenes throughout the season. The mall setting was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the set pieces inside and underground in the facility. This season brought back the main cast together a lot more than season 2, which is one of the big reasons why it's ahead of it. One of my only complaints is that they're all turning into moody teens and aren't really getting along like they did when they were kids, but that's realistic and I get it, because everybody grows up and moves on. But that doesn't mean I have to love it, and it's kind of frustrating to watch. Billy's arc this season was great, and he really got to shine. His death was really well done. I could do without the flashbacks on the beach though. There's some good new characters this season with Robin. Her and Steve have some super memorable scenes together. Them getting drugged by the Russians is so hilarious, and it led to a great scene with her coming out to him. Hopper and Joyce were kind of annoying this season though, with their will they won't they relationship and the constant arguing. But they had Murray and Alexei with them, two of my favorite side characters. Alexei's death also goes down as one of the saddest. As soon as you start to like him, the guy dies. So tragic. I wish the Russian villains were done a little better, along with the Terminator character that followed Hopper and Joyce around, but it works within the theme of the show yet again. They're going for this 80s theme, and the 80s is over the top. I like that Erica is in the show more. Her sassiness meshes so well with everyone. If this season was a little more focused, it could be higher on the list. It's just a little jumbled plot-wise at times, and it seems like nothing is connected. There's a few too many subplots, but I feel like every season, everything comes together well at the end. And this season has some of the best scenes in the whole series. That's why it's my number 2. At my number 1 is Season 4. This is by far the most epic and emotional season in my opinion. It started off a little slow but really picked up around episode 4 and never slowed down from there. Especially the final 3 episodes. In my opinion, the finale is easily the best ending to a season the show has had. I was really emotionally invested. Eddie's death was so heartbreaking it had me in tears, along with the scene with Dustin and his uncle. I haven't been so emotional watching a TV show in a long time. Especially when you combine that with Max's kinda death fake out thing. I'm so curious to see what happens with her next and the whole cast. I'm hoping there will be a season 5, and I'm assuming there will be with the way they left things. The way everything came together this season was really enjoyable, and I was surprised how well the different plots meshed. The new characters they brought in worked well for the most part, and I didn't feel like they took away from the main cast. Eddie was superb, and every time he was on screen, he stole the show in my opinion. Dimitri was great, he was solid, and I enjoyed the plot with him and Hopper in Russia. It was slow, but once it got going, it was emotional, and the tension was really high, especially the first prison escape sequence in episode 4. Even though I got a feeling in my gut and saw it coming when Yuri betrayed them, I was actually kinda pissed. The villain, Vecna's character design was amazing. The blend of practical and CGI effects looked really good. And his twist backstory with Victor Creel had my eyes glued to the screen. This is by far the darkest season for sure, and the deaths are horrifying, and I love it. Murray was on fire the whole season, and it was hilarious to see him whoop some ass. His fingers are like arrows. But as good as this season was, there are some negatives in my opinion. It bummed me out to see the original cast so spread out, literally thousands of miles from each other. During Eleven's training subplot, I think it would have been a lot more entertaining to see her with the group going through her PTSD instead of being secluded in a lab. Though it was set up and made sense, the subplot with the jocks and the town witch hunt was kind of annoying, but only because it took away from the main character's story, and I don't feel like the payoff was worth it. One early complaint that I had going through the season was I wish that Max would have died in episode 4, but I think that they made it work in the long run. But by far my biggest complaint in season 4 is that we never got to see what Max's letters said. I was waiting all season to find out. You can't tell me nobody opened them, not even Lucas or her mom. But overall, I love this season, especially episodes 4, 7, 8, and 9. I'm sure you all have your own lists and opinions, so please let me know down below. I do my best to respond to all of your comments, and please consider liking and subscribing. It means the world to me. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks for watching.